When is a good bishop the goodest boy on the board, so to speak? Well, the goodest boy, which is now the bishop on b7, would be indeed ideal if it wasn't blocked by its own pawn, because the prerequisite for the goodest bishop is that they mustn't be blocked by their own pawns. Now, this guy on d5 is actually it's the brick that actually doesn't allow you to shining through and attack the g2 and the king itself, So that black pawn on d5 mustn't be there, because if that pawn wasn't existing, then you could say that your bishop would be incredibly active looking towards your opponent's king. So how do we play this? And probably you guys have the answer already. The d5 has to disappear. Now you would say, yeah, but the white attacks it twice. White has a knight and has a bishop. So am I going to give a pawn? Well, we have to make it a habit in chess to understand that even if you give and sacrifice material at some point, a pawn in our position here, that comes with a great benefit, because the compensation is absolutely huge here. And there is no good move. Now, if they take with a knight, just saying, it's a catastrophically equal move as if they were to take with a bishop. Now, this guy is hanging on c3, the bishop on c3. You've got a battery here that's ready to take back. Then the knight will be hanging. And you've got a bishop exactly as we said, and then one of the rooks will be getting to c2, and it's just enormous pressure, and white is already in serious trouble here. Let me go back to the main line, assuming they take back with a bishop. Bishop takes d4, right? You would say, okay, fine, fair enough. But then again, you've got a battery here. This is serious stuff. And not just that, you take advantage. We already highlighted the bishop attacking g2, and now you're going to get yourself the rook over to the second rank, implicitly hitting the g2 as well. And not just that, you would say that, okay, so wait, what, can't they just defend, with the rook or something? Yeah, they can, but there is more than meets the eye. Assuming you don't play bullet games, you could also start investigating now. Wait a minute. Sometimes trading a rook for 2 minor pieces is definitely something to think about. So I know now the knight is being defended, fine, and the rook here just simply defends g2. Okay, that's cool too. But you could also think about the stuff like rook takes, forces white to take back with the queen or with the rook, and then this guy is hanging. A rook for 2 minor pieces in this position is fabulous. It might be working incredibly well for black, and not just that. So you have one candidate move now, rook takes c2, great. Can you think about something else? And I'm pretty sure you guys can. There is also knight to h4, because rook to f2 or rook to f2 block the queen from protecting h4. So you can play the knight and to get a couple up with the bishop, and if you're given a chance, the queen, and it's just so much pressure happening here, and you sooner or later are going to crack open the defenses. So definitely knight to h4. I love to play rook to e2 as well. So these are the ideas that make a good bishop the goodest boy on a board. Let's look at the next one here. What's going on now? Black played something like bishop to d7. Like that bishop of theirs wasn't the best, the most brightest bishop on a board. Bad bishop. Looks to me they probably played a French defense here. Something with e4, e6, that looks to me. And they would love to having this bishop on b5 traded, right? Because the bishop on d7 is a bad bishop, bad boy. Now, we don't want to do that. I don't think I want to trade that bishop. I actually want to focus on activating my bishop where the king is. Target is on g8. So I don't want to trade, helping my opponent, and I'd rather investigate, wait a minute. Can't I just make my bishop a bit more active attacking on the king side? Because there is something here. Following the bishop to d3, all of a sudden we shifted the focus of our attack. And if we manage to engineer at some point, maybe some bishop drop, maybe you're going to replace d3 with the queen on d3, and you're going to be having a checkmate threat. That looks incredibly optimistic, and I just love it. So that's how, step by step, we improve the position. We refuse to trade our bad bishop, our good bishop for our opponent bad bishop. So once we understand that, we're going to do better in our future games. And look at the guy on d7. What does it do? Well, not too much, though. On e6 is completely dead, is the infamous bad bishop in a French. So it's blocked here, doesn't do nothing. C6 doesn't do nothing, blocked, doesn't attack anything. Can't go B5, they're going to just die immediately. So yeah, they could do rook AC8 and things like that. But then again, just keep in mind that you have the bishop, drop, queen, and eventually you're going to exerting increased pressure. That was part number 4, the 4th installment. Someone said, hey, make installment 4, 5, 6. And they put a fire symbol and stuff. Okay, we're going to do that. So let's take a step by step now. Small doses, they say. And we're going to come back with the 5th part. Cheers. Thanks for watching.